Well, today, Anthony Albanese and Kevin Rudd's credibility on the NBN has been completely shattered. As David Ramley has revealed in the Australian Financial Review just a few minutes ago, the NBN Co's Chief Operating Officer has told his top executives that their construction costs have blown out by $5 billion. Now, we didn't find out about that because Anthony Albanese told the truth. He's been telling us for weeks that the NBN Co is on time and on budget. We didn't find out about that because he published the NBN Co's latest version of their business plan, because he's been sitting on that and won't release it before the election. He wants people to vote on the NBN without actually knowing what's going on. We found out about it because finally someone at the NBN Co had to fess up to the facts about the bad shape this project is in to their own executives. Now, the Labor Party has been telling lies about the NBN and the Coalition's plans for the NBN all week. Let's just go through a few more of them. They've said that Labor's NBN will be free. Well, of course, it won't be free. Not free to the taxpayer, not free to people who want to use it. They've said that the Coalition will disconnect the NBN. In fact, we'll complete it. We'll complete its construction sooner, cheaper and more affordably. And for those people who are thinking about signing a petition on Twitter to save the NBN, they really should be voting for the Coalition, because you can see the way this project is being so comprehensively mismanaged by Labor. There's no prospect of this incompetent government ever completing the project at all. And finally, with respect to Tasmania, they've said that we're not going to honour the contracts that have been entered into in Tasmania. Let me say again, whether it is in Tasmania or anywhere else, the NBN Co is a Commonwealth government-owned business. It will honour every contract it has entered into, full stop. And if you think about it, the alternative would be spending a lot of time in court. And much and all, as I have affection for my former profession of law, I don't want to make it my business to line their pockets even more. Every contract the NBN Co has entered into will be honoured in accordance with its terms.
He also said in that article that with restructuring and re-engineering, that cost blowout and more.
Well, you've got to ask yourself, do you believe that the management that until yesterday was saying everything was hunky-dory and on time and on budget is going to be able to make up for this massive blowout? The fact of the matter is this: the NBN Co is not being managed competently. It is way behind schedule. It is running over budget. Right now, they have managed, after 4 years, to connect 33,000 premises in all of Australia to their fibre network. They basically completed in 4 years 2% of the project, and they reckon they want us to believe that it'll be all completed by 2021. I mean, it is the NBN's business plan, its corporate plan, as currently is published, has no credibility at all, and the revelations in the AFR today have blown it asunder. Its credibility has been blown asunder. Now, there is a way to save a lot of money on constructing the NBN, and we've outlined an approach to that in our alternative plan. And if we are elected to government, we will have a regime of complete transparency on the NBN. We will publish very quickly an analysis that shows how much it's really going to cost in dollars and years to complete the NBN on the current plan, and then what we can save in dollars and years by making certain changes to it. And that will all be set out, and Australians will understand what choices are being made. But this government, remember, Anthony Albanese, until today, was saying the NBN project is on time and on budget. Wrong. That was false. And the big question we've got to ask is, do we really believe that Ralph Steffens and the NBN Co hadn't told the minister the fact of the matter before they told their top executives yesterday? What is in that business plan that Albanese is so reluctant to release?
So this is revealed publicly by the Financial Review, as you say. So who should have revealed it and why? Well,
the minister should reveal this. I mean, look, the lack of transparency, the lack of honesty on the behalf of the Labor government on the NBN has been shocking. I mean, the NBN Co revises its business plan every year. They have given a revised business plan to the government, and the government refuses to release it. And now little facts, little bits of it are starting to leak out already. you've seen an acknowledgement of a $5 billion blowout. What confidence do we have that it's only 5? How can we be sure it's not 10 or more? What confidence can you have in this government and this project when we have been told so many falsehoods about its progress?
Your NBN plan relies on many of the same assumptions. Can you guarantee yours won't increase from 29.4 to something higher?
No, David, our assumptions we have applied both to our analysis of their plan and our plan, but we have one of our major differences, and we're being vindicated by the announcement today, one of our major differences is that we have said that the NBN Co has underestimated their construction costs. Well, clearly we're right about that. There may still be a difference as to the extent to which it's been underestimated, but the proposition that Albanese has been pushing, that they are on time and on budget, is clearly false. That has been blown apart. So, but insofar as there are assumptions about timing and costs and revenues, and they have been applied equally across both our version and our assessment of Labor's version.
The fact-checking website Polyfact rated your claim that it's going to cost $94 billion as only half true. Are you guilty of exaggeration? No,
I think if you read what they've said, they've basically said that our conclusions are reasonable, but they're unverifiable. And I think that is certainly unverifiable by PolitiFact. And this was the point the Parliamentary Budget Office made to us quite some time ago, earlier in the year, that the real issue with any of these business models is what are the assumptions, and it's very hard unless you've got engineering and network experience to be able to form a judgment about that. I mean, you've got to remember that as far as costing is concerned, we have not come out and said baldly, we can do it for 29.5, Labor's will cost 94. We have said this is why we think Labor's will cost 94, and we have set out the reasons in considerable detail so that people can assess them, so that they can form a judgment about them. And Peter Martin has run through them in some detail in his analysis. Equally, we've done the same thing with our own assumptions. So, our model on the NBN is fully costed. We have fully costed it and set out all the assumptions. So that it's very transparent. And if you think, we're wrong, if you think that $3,600 is not the right number for the average cost of connecting a premise with fibre to the home, and it should be $3,400, well, that'll give you a different outcome, somewhat different outcome. And you can change any of those assumptions. But we've been very, very transparent. And bear in mind, we published that 4.5 months ago, and nobody has since published, despite a lot of expertise in the field, no one has since published a counter-analysis that demonstrates that any of those assumptions are other than very reasonable.
But that 94 billion assumes that everything goes wrong, doesn't it? Are you guilty of overreach?
No, it doesn't. It assumes that, to be fair, it assumes all of those 4 parameters are less favourable than what the Labor Party has hitherto assumed. But you've got to remember that their assumptions will be blown up today through the mouth of their own Chief Operating Officer. But I have to say to you, subsequent to publishing that plan, our plan in April, we assumed that it would take 4 more years to complete the construction of Labor's NBN. I think that would be very optimistic. If we had to redo that, look at that again today, I think you'd say it would be a miracle if they could complete it in only 4 extra years, given where they are and the delays they've experienced. So, but you can see we've been completely transparent. There is nothing that anyone analysing our plan needs to have to assess it beyond what we have provided. We put all the assumptions out there.
Mr Albanese wants you to put your policy before Treasury as well. Will you do so?
Well, look, our policy is available to Treasury. He has not asked Treasury to vet the business plan of the NBN. He has not asked them to do that. I mean, he has had our policy out there since April. If the Treasury want to have a look at it, I'd be delighted to sit down with them and talk and discuss it with them. But it has been a public document for 4.5 months. The real question for Mr Albanese is why hasn't the Treasury ever assessed your document, Mr Albanese? I mean, that's the real issue, because they have not. I'm sure they've seen a copy of it, but they have not assessed the validity of the assumptions. So it's a, you know, look, Anthony Albanese, let's be quite clear. Albanese's credibility on this issue is shattered. Everything he has said about the project this week has been proved to be false. Now, the only question is he a fool or a knave? Did he know that that $5 billion blowout was happening when he said the project was on time and on budget? Did the NBN Co really not tell their shareholder, the minister, about it before they told their own executives? Or is he so foolish that he didn't take care to inquire of the NBN Co management as to what their latest assessment was before he said it was on time and on budget? I mean, Albanese has no credibility on this issue at all. That was ended on the front page of the AFR website today. Okay, thanks very much, everyone.
Chris,
See you
one
soon.
more question.
Oh, okay, just one more.
You were voted the third sexiest politician. Do you think that's fair?
I should have kept
what credibility
walking.
does that have?
Well, I just say this. Everyone says that politics is show business for ugly people. So, you know, being included in a list like that, you've got to accept as a compliment, and I'm very flattered, but I don't think, given the line of work I'm in, it's a particularly big rap. Thanks very much. Okay.